The story begins in 2013 in Bangkok, Thailand, where the election period was still in full swing. A Liberal Party leader named Direk Praba then campaigned on an anti-corruption platform. In addition, Direk also promised the people that if he was elected, he would close the construction of a nuclear power plant located behind them. In the campaign, Direk had the full support of his fiancée, Wasana, who is a geologist graduated from Harvard University. We then cut to one night, where two mafia gangs are conducting a drug deal in a building. But as soon as the transaction is completed, one of the gangs suddenly attacks the buyer and assassinates the enemy group. After they tortured the leader of the rival gang, a masked man suddenly appeared and killed all the gang members. He then left one person to be tortured, with his hands cut off and a drug overdose. Not only that, he also left a card with the Red Eagle logo as a trademark after killing people. Without being shown the rest of the story switches to 3 years later, where Wasana decides to end her relationship with Direk, who has now become the Prime Minister of Thailand. She made the decision because Direk had betrayed her, and instead continued with the construction of the nuclear power plant. Wasana also found other protesters who were beaten by a spy who might have been sent by the government. Wasana immediately met Direk in his office and conveyed the problem. Wasana also discussed the nuclear power plant and her disappointment with Direk for not keeping his campaign promises. As a result, Wasana left disappointed with her former fiancé. Meanwhile, CSD agent Chart Wadikrai is assigned to investigate the incident that killed 20 drug gang members in a building 3 years ago. The case has left the police still unable to find out who the real Red Eagle is. Therefore, the police chief named Captain Mantri Sirikul asked Chart to find out the identity of Red Eagle. In investigating this case, he is not alone. He will be assisted by Sergeant Singh Chantaranantukam or Sergeant Singh. Elsewhere, a senator who had just eaten was contacted by the press reporter, and one of them gave the senator a piece of paper. But it turns out that the content of the letter is a warning from Red Eagle, who will soon kill the senator. On the other hand, Wasana held a press conference about the dangers of building nuclear power plants. But one of the guests disagrees with Wasana, and according to him, using nuclear is the best way. Realizing that this press conference was only for journalists, Wasana suspected that the guest was not a journalist. And sure enough, it turned out that the guest was a member of the Thai government. After the guest left, there was a sudden explosion that made everyone run away in panic. While in another place, the senator began to fear after getting a warning letter from Red Eagle, so he mobilized a tight guard throughout his house. One of his subordinates also tried to calm him down by bringing an underage girl to satisfy the senator's lust. From this one, we know the reason why Red Eagle wants to kill the senator. Shortly after, Red Eagle appears and tampers with the CCTV before he finally beheads the senator's men. Red Eagle then wears a leather mask that resembles the senator's men and enters the senator's room. That's where Red Eagle finished off the senator and disemboweled his body. At the same time, one of the guards realized that the captive was deliberately tampered with and immediately told the others to check on the senator's condition. As a result, a chase between Red Eagle and the guards ensued. In his attempt to escape, Red Eagle was shot several times, but he could escape and return to his base. Fortunately, the suit used by Red Eagle was bulletproof, so he wasn't seriously injured. Elsewhere, Agent Chart meets Wasana to inquire more about the explosion that occurred at the press conference venue. Along with that, Sergeant Singh informed Chart that the senator was killed by Red Eagle. Without thinking, they went to the crime scene. Once there, Chart found a card left behind by Red Eagle, and when investigated, it turned out that the card was a memory card in which there was a video of Red Eagle telling about the senator's bad behavior. After seeing the video, the chief, Captain Mantri, thought that Red Eagle was a hero for killing criminals and corrupt people. But unlike Chart, he thought that Red Eagle was a villain for killing many people. Meanwhile, a group of masked people called the Matul designated Red Eagle as their main enemy. This is because many of its members were killed and received death threats from Red Eagle. This Machul group is made up of corrupt officials in Thailand and abroad who want to control Thailand's natural resources. And now that Red Eagle was interfering, then the Machul spread hitmen to kill Red Eagle. And there is one ruthless hitman, the Black Devil. This Black Devil used to work alone using his very sharp sword. The scene then shows who Red Eagle really is. He is a man named Rome. Here, Rome is seen pasting photos of corrupt officials as his next targets, including Direk. Meanwhile, Wasana, who was on the phone in her apartment, accidentally found a Red Eagle mask that somehow ended up in Wasana's drawer. Apparently 1 year ago, when Rome was being chased by the Machul, he met Wasana, who ended up helping him. The two tried to escape by car, but the Machul attacks didn't stop. They continued to shoot at Wasana's car, hitting Rome in the head. Wasana then took Rome to the hospital, where the doctor was amazed that Rome was still alive, even though the bullet entered his brain. Because of this, Rome always had severe headaches, which could only be relieved with regular doses of morphine. Even though Wasana knew who was behind the Red Eagle all along, she kept this a secret. Back to the present, shown one of the influential officials named Mr. Pramul, who received a warning letter from Red Eagle. So he immediately went to Chart's office and requested that Red Eagle be arrested immediately. In the evening, Chart and Sergeant Singh went to the club to monitor Pramul's movements while waiting for Red Eagle's appearance. Pramul, who had defecated, then went to the toilet. Meanwhile, his two bodyguards stood guard at the door. While Pramul was defecating, Red Eagle suddenly appeared and immediately attacked Pramul. Pramul's screams were heard by his bodyguard, who immediately tried to stop Red Eagle. Knowing there was a commotion, Chart and Sergeant Singh immediately investigated and found Red Eagle trying to escape. Chart then immediately chased Red Eagle. However, he fell while climbing the stairs of the building. Then, when Red Eagle reached the roof of the building, he was intercepted by Black Devil, who was waiting for him. Now the fight between the two of them was inevitable. Both attacked each other using their respective weapons. In the middle of the fight, Red Eagle then pushed Black Devil into a pile of iron, and then continued to jump into the next building. But Black Devil immediately got up and chased Red Eagle. The two then went back to attacking each other on the billboard, until finally the board fell and broke the glass of the next building. But that didn't stop them, and the two of them continued their duel. On this occasion, Black Devil then injured Red Eagle's shoulder using his sword. Then Red Eagle responded by pushing Black Devil. Red Eagle then escaped through the elevator because Chart and the other police had arrived. But again, Black Devil appeared, so the two again fought for strength. Until finally Red Eagle decided to jump before the elevator fell. Red Eagle returned to his base with wounded and weak. The next day, Chart and Sergeant Singh had coffee together with Chart's friend, that is Rome. After that, the two then escorted Rome to his base. But without realizing it, Rome has installed a listening device on Chart's watch. Through the device, Rome overhears Chart's conversation explaining to Singh that the two of them used to be Thai Special Forces agents. Later that night, Wasana, who was on her way home, was suddenly harassed by pump gangs, making a minor accident. Fortunately, Red Eagle soon showed up to teach the punks a lesson. After that, he also helped Wasana. Rome then brought the unconscious Wasana to his base. When Wasana waked consciousness up, Rome injected some medicine into his body. Wasana also tried to remind Rome not to use too much medicine, and this is where the two started doing romance. On the other hand, a man met the Machul and claimed that he knew who was behind Red Eagle. Of course, the Machul knew that this was just a trick, because the man wanted money in return. So the Machul injected a mysterious potion that made the man spit out small insects. Meanwhile, Rome takes Wasana to the airport and gives her a GPS necklace, which Rome can use to track where Wasana is. Elsewhere, Chart and his superiors analyzed Red Eagle's facial features to find out who was behind his mask, and they speculate that one of the villains, called the Fire Cobra, is the one behind Red Eagle. Chart and Sergeant Singh immediately went in search of the Fire Cobra to hunt it down, but when they found the Fire Cobra in the market, they also had to fight off his accomplices who were all wielding firearms. After Sergeant Singh was able to defeat all the plotters, it turned out that the Fire Cobra secretly escaped on a taxi. So Chart immediately chased him using a motorized sidecar rickshaw that was nearby. The chase between them lasted for quite some time. Eventually, the Fire Cobra stopped somewhere and started shooting at Chart. As a result, Chart was swayed, then fell down. On this occasion, the Fire Cobra then tried to kill Chart using his gun. But fortunately, Red Eagle appeared to stop the Fire Cobra from running away again. When Chart got up, he immediately pointed his gun at Red Eagle and asked him to reveal his true identity. But Red Eagle quickly turned Chart's hand and handcuffed him to the motorcycle before he continued to chase the Fire Cobra. After catching the Fire Cobra, Red Eagle realized that he knew the whereabouts of Matchwell's base, but the Fire Cobra refused to tell him. In the end, the Fire Cobra released a mysterious insect from his head, which of course was the work of the Matul. Long story short, the next day, Red Eagle sensed the presence of someone at his own base, and when traced, it turned out to be Black Devil. As a result, a fight between the two ensued. Since both of them were experts in fighting, the fight was evenly matched. But in the middle of the fight, Red Eagle could damage Black Devil's mask using his sword, and it was revealed that the Black Devil was actually Sergeant Singh. It turns out that the two had a conflict when Rome became a Special Forces agent, where when Sergeant Singh was sent by the government to stop operations in Pali and erase all evidence of existing events. When Singh wanted to kill Rome, Rome slashed at Singh first, until his head was badly injured, while Rome was shot in the chest and fell into the river. And after that incident, Singh continued to look for Rome, who had injured his head. The two then fought again. But this time Rome could push Singh until he was stabbed by a sharp iron. But unbeknownst to him, it turned out that Singh had planted a bomb at that place. Rome also tried to escape from the place, and fortunately he could escape just seconds before the bomb went explode. A week later, the protesters, including Wasana, protested for the government to stop the nuclear power plant. But instead of listening to the people, Direk had ordered his men to kill the protesters. Meanwhile, Chart saw the news that Rome's base building was on fire. He looked shocked and worried about Rome. Meanwhile, Rome or the Eagle travels somewhere using his motorcycle. At the same time, the movie ended.